On and on, Adam stumbled forward. Exhaustion weighed down on the adventurer. Foul luck had got him lost. The sound of music picked at his ears, and he followed it. By the time the sun had set, he was in the forest. But a light danced ahead of him. By the light of a campfire, he saw satyrs running and dancing about. They drank and sang. A grand old ruckus all around. Adam looked on in awe, but the satyrs saw him. They rushed to his side, took him by the arms, and brought him before the full party. Welcome to Mythical Phylogeny Adventures. I'm your guide, Jason. Today, we encounter another classic creature from Greek and Roman mythology, the satyr. Let's start this by saying that this video is not safe for work or appropriate for children. Okay, good. The satyr comes from Greek and Roman mythology, but as to their origins, it is contested. Most records on them are destroyed, with mostly plays containing them remain. I am rather limited in which pieces of ancient art I can put up. If you can look them up on your own, it should stand out why I am avoiding them. In some tales, they are the children of the 5 granddaughters of the hero Phoronis. Others claim that they are the sons of Olympus. There may have even been multiple origins of the satyrs. Now, in all accounts, they are all male. In later depictions, they have a human body and torso, including legs. They would have a thick beard, often balding on the top of their heads. But earlier depictions were different. They had the legs of a goat, with a tail and horns on their head. Regardless of the era, they always had a raging hard-on for life. Yep, their dick is constantly erect and absolutely massive. No erectile dysfunction. They are depicted as fun-loving, drinking, dancing, and constantly partying. Think super frat party. But on the darker side, they are perpetually horny. They are always out trying to seduce both nymphs and mortal women. But when rejected, they will attempt to take them by force. Most of the time, they fail spectacularly. Yeah, that is actually one of the more accurate things in Disney's Hercules movie. Phil's failed attempt on the nymphs. Most of their other depictions show them masturbating, or bestiality, pure degeneracy. Usually, they are associated with Dionysus, the god of wine. Yet it was the satyr, Silenos, who taught Dionysus. Afterwards, he would join his entourage and spend the rest of his days completely plastered. They are often shown playing flutes and other musical instruments. Very rarely are they shown in any kind of garb. Yeah, raging nudists. That's a bit. So let's start with the more erotic part. What is up with their member? A human becomes erect by limiting blood flow out of it, creating pressure. But it can't be maintained due to CO2 buildup. So, how can the satyrs operate like they are popping Viagra like candies? Well, have you ever asked why it is called a boner? Most animals, from mice to whales, have what is called a penis bone. And it is exactly like it sounds. They have a bone which moves into position to create an erection. So for a satyr, their bone is permanently pulled into position for action, and their bone is rather large. Now, there are only male satyrs. So where do more satyrs come from? Are they being created by gods? Or are women giving birth to satyr sons? That would leave a couple of options. One, their genes are dominant over all human genes. Or two, their sperm have a virus component to them. But in the 16th century, artists did depict female satyrs called satyresses, so potentially that eventually females were produced somehow. As to why they are like this, well, they have a few options. Certain hormones like testosterone, oxytocin, and others are a little out of whack. Okay, really out of whack. Their behaviors are often driven by the most primal desires. And this actually follows Greek beliefs. Having a large dick was seen as more barbaric, unsophisticated, beastly, and uncivilized. Someone who gives into carnal desires, addicted to momentary pleasure, and unable to think ahead. And this is the very behaviors we see in the satyrs. In a more modern sense, they are the idea of sex, drugs, and rock and roll. What, you can't tell me that the satyrs wouldn't partake in Hades' lettuce if they had the chance. And that could explain some of their behaviors. They drink so much that they may have pickled their brains. They are drunk. Have you ever watched drunk people? They can be incredibly inappropriate, uncoordinated, and difficult. Yep, they are alcoholics, most likely. But they aren't all stupid. Selenos taught Dionysus, and those which have been caught have offered up wisdom. Now, you may have heard of a forest spirit called a faun, which is human-like with horse legs, and they come from Roman mythology. Originally, they were different, but merged over the ages with the satyrs. But there is another connection. The god Pan, a god shown with goat legs, associated with fields and fertility. I bet you can see the connection. So what is up with the change in their appearance over the ages? From more beastly to more human, even toning down some of their lewdness. Well, it is possible that the satyr was used to depict other cultures, namely the more barbarian-like Celts and Gauls. And the Celts had a horn god named Sonorus. As relations improved between the two populations, particularly in the later Roman era, so did their depictions of them. Lastly, what are they? A type of ungulate, most likely, based on their feet. But are they closely related to centaurs? Maybe not. Developing a second set of legs is mechanically very different than going bipedal. It would require reworking the balance and muscle strength in the legs and altering the pelvis. This sounds more like a goat species switching to stand on its hind legs, which is something they can do to a limited extent. This means that they could be fairly closely related to the traditional minotaur. Now, if you watch my video on Dionysus, you may have noticed, but he got into a lot of wars and fights, and his satyrs often partook in battle. So, our fun-loving frat monsters do have a sinister side. But thanks to Dionysus, we can pinpoint two classes which the satyrs will fall into. The bard, due to their music and partying, but due to Dionysus being a god of madness, and their uncivilized nature, the barbarian. So, the barbarian? Overall, their physical traits aren't too complicated. Yeah, they can hurt you with a headbutt, so put on a helmet, and it will hurt them more. Cover the rest of your body in armor too. You can make use of any type, but pick something according to their weapons. If they are bards, bring a silence spell. There is a chance that they may have other magic, and you will need to address that accordingly. Now, there is one more thing. They are probably going to be a bit drunk. That may make them more reckless and unpredictable. They may stumble about. So, a drunken master situation? While they can wear any armor, but they are usually naked. They may need to deal with their boner. I doubt they want it chopped off, so held upward against their stomach, but behind a belt and plate. But looking at their behaviors, I might expect them to have a codpiece on. I'm not sure about their speed in a charge. Goats and horses have 4 legs and run on them, but satyrs only have 2, so they will probably be closer to humans in speed. Now, when they assault women, they will need to whip it out, but it is rather long and hard to maneuver, and they are probably drunk. This is why they usually fail in their attempts on women. But they are thinking with their little head. If you are willing to play along even a little bit, you can probably trick them and escape. Say that you want to slip into something a bit more scandalous and meet them in a minute. The only thing that can make this complicated is if Dionysus is present. Having a god mixed into a fight could complicate it. Overall, the satyr battle is like wrangling a drunk, if they have an axe. Overall, they are basically like fighting humans, and why I'm giving them a comparable 3 of 10 for difficulty. Be careful, but you should be able to manage this. Red Solo Cup, I fill you up. Let's have a party. Let's have a party. Okay. That is enough of my singing. I hope I didn't hurt your hearing too much. But that is what the satyrs are usually like. Generally, they are one giant party. One filled with debauchery, perversion, and degenerate behaviors. So, there is a chance that you could join in. They'll have great wine and music, which you could enjoy. Now, while inebriated, satyrs aren't stupid. They can offer great advice. There is little chance with working with them, though. They will probably create plenty of headaches for you to deal with. Best description is they drink and know things. Now, due to their unlimited libido, they will attempt to seduce women. So, if you are willing, could you? I mean, they are very well endowed. But are they so large that they won't fit? Oh, that is very likely. And due to their over-enthusiasm, it might be a bit rougher. So, I'll let you decide if you want. Due to their perpetual hard-on, I don't know how long they will last. Though I must wonder about the depths of the satyresses. The satyrs pushed Adam into the crowd. They danced about while he looked on dumbfounded. So, they grabbed his arms and dragged him about, passed him a goblet of wine, and quickly endeared him to their revelry. Soon he was passed out, drunk, amongst the sleeping satyrs. Oh, his head would be pounding in the morning, but right then, he was actually feeling well. A little bit of brightness in the night. The satyr may seem silly, but they do harbor a bit of darkness to them. While you can associate with them, do take care. They are likely to get you into trouble. Thank you for watching, adventurers. Please return next time for all the dryads. Until then, I'll see you on the roads.